Hi everyone, welcome to the Movie Section Show. My name is Fariba, and tonight we're about to watch episode 6 of the Acolye, which means we're actually getting very close to the end of the series. And let's just start off with the fact that, again, last week was a very explosive episode. It was quite a banger. Definitely had a lot of us off guard, basically, because we did not imagine the darkness that we were about to see seeding through that episode. I mean, a lot of people are still dealing with the death of Jackie and Yord from last week. Even I didn't expect any of that. I just thought, okay, these are main characters. They should be able to survive for a very long time, only to see that that was completely not the case. And yeah, I mean, Star Wars really just took quite a deviation from everything that we've ever imagined from the whole universe. Just again, and then not just that, but just to see again, this so-called Kymor, or what I believe he's now considered the Stranger, but basically the Darkverse users, seeing how much he's able to embody this really dark power within him, and not just that, but just how masterful he is with the Force, even more so than, you know, any of the Jedi, just as we saw with Master Soul. So of course, going into it, I don't think we're going to see Jackie or Yord. We're still going to be following with Soul, May, and Osha. There's still a lot of questions going into the final 3 episodes. So, of course, one being what happened in terms of May perspective. What is this, you know, secret that the 4 Jedi are keeping to themselves regarding about what happened in Brendok? And of course, a bit more, you know, context of who the Stranger is, why is he involved, why did he recruit May? Why is he going after the Jedi in the way that we are seeing now? There's still lots of questions. So hopefully as we get into the last 3 episodes, we'll get some answers. So yeah, without further ado, let's get right down into the 6th episode of The Acolyte. This looks like the planet that Luke was in Rise of Skywalker for some reason. Unknown planet. But yeah, great. What a way to describe this planet.
There's been My whole team is dead.
Thompson, first.
This guy.
We were ambushed. Someone knew we were coming.
A Jedi's not supposed to show any anger or any emotions. Is that like a charger? Oh boy. Would he be able to censor? Come on.
How does it feel?
There you go. Okay, I was about to say. He should be able to censor.
Don't move.
Feels good. Your own saber when you left the order. Your stance is good. You should keep your other elbow up higher. Allows for a swifter block.
Stay where you are.
If you're not
So
gonna
he
join me,
definitely was a former Jedi student.
I'd like to put my clothes back on. How I can read your mind. I can't. Not exactly. Your anger betrays your thoughts. You're the one with the weapon.
Did you kill Saul?
No. Interesting you ask about him first, though. He taught you the Jedi arts. But he's more to you than that. Master and pupil.
Interesting. I wonder what's going on. Like, he's not aggressive or anything.
You saved us, Osha. You saved me. That man, he corrupted your sister.
Do you guys hug?
I'm sorry. It's time to make things right.
Vote in favor of an external review of the Order.
Rancor has never been a friend of the Jedi, but I worry his fears convince so many.
A review should not be cause for alarm. The Jedi are always transparent.
Casualties.
Who?
The connection was faulty, but it sounded like the entire team.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Yeah. So he is a Jedi. Okay.
Ago.
I've never heard of you.
It was a really long time ago.
How?
Why'd you bring me here?
Why do you think?
And his strength in the Force is very powerful.
You think
Not a
that's
problem.
his
It is.
strength? I'd start swimming if you want to make it to the ship before sundown. Or you could wait for the tide to go out. You hungry?
Hey, relax, relax. Hey, whoa, relax. Okay.
If you are a Jedi, you know it's something you must exercise. Without training, it fades.
And that's what they told you. The Jedi teach there's only one way to access the Force. And if you don't do it their way, it fades. Emotions. Anger. Fear. Loss. Desire.
Yep. Those are all signs
That's
of
the path to the
becoming
dark
a dark
side.
side. Yeah.
Samantha,
You killed Jackie!
and where did you think that was going to go? You would have had the same relationship with her that you have with your master. One-sided. Why do you love people who can only go so far? You stayed here to do something. Do it. Turn it on. They didn't want you.
It's not true. I left
Why?
because I chose to.
Are you sure about that?
Look.
This pain, this is who you are. The Jedi saw it, and that's why they threw you away. Why aren't you a Jedi, Osha?
Because I failed!
I lost everything, Osha. But when you lose everything, That's when you're finally free.
That villain's true intentions when we first met him on Olega.
I think. Yes. He's okay now.
I noticed the way you take care of him, talk to him, love him, even though he's just a machine.
A lot of myself in order to become a Jedi. Even if I didn't know it at the time.
I'm sorry if you felt that way.
How could I feel any other way? But I'm not now.
Oh yay, we're
You can
finally
tell
going to
me.
get the truth. Time to tell the truth. Or we're gonna pause for another episode. So we're gonna hold that off for another episode, huh? Yeah, looks like it.
My name is...
Ah, so he figured it out.
May.
Okay, so he figured it out. Cool. I was gonna say.
Master Soul, the rescue team is on their way.
Where's he going? Oh.
Pitch to my sister.
I made a mistake with May. I thought she wanted more than just revenge. Power of two.
Like, I haven't heard that before.
Where'd you get that scar?
Threw me away.
Your Jedi Master?
Could it be Soul? I don't know.
But also a sensory deprivation headpiece. Like we used as younglings.
It blocks out all your senses?
So it's just you and the Force.
Oh my god, what? We did not need to see that. Do we have to go see Jackie's dead body? I'm still reeling over the sadness of it.
No sign of Osha or her twin. They must have survived somehow.
They could sense all
What
that.
happened here?
What do you see?
Aim was to leave no survivors.
Damn, that's super.
They were all killed by a lightsaber. What does that tell you?
Soul was responsible.
That is quite the accusation.
Who else would possess the power to slay such a strong group?
Something to tip the scales.
But if he did this, why would he?
Bishop, we should prepare these bodies for burial.
Thank you. Finally, someone thought about the most important thing.
I have no intention of harming you, May.
And let me go.
I will. Believe you and I are going to talk. I've had 16 years to think about what I would say to you if I ever got the opportunity.
She's gonna wear it. She's gonna wear it. She's gonna wear it. Oh my god. She's about to embark the dark side. Look. Oh, look, I haven't heard those sounds before. That was episode 6 of The Acolyte right there, and definitely a much slower paced episode, but not too surprising because of the fact that the last episode was so much, action packed, and there was a lot that unraveled from that moment that it makes sense why we have something that's a bit more of a slower paced episode. So, going down into it, I mean, let's talk about the ending right there. We didn't expect that, of course. Osha starting to kind of what seems to be embodying her dark side, or at least being influenced by it. Now, I do have to say, like, one of the things I was very intrigued is the fact that Chimere, or at least that's what his name is, but Chimere, I'm gonna go by Chimere. We know for a fact that, he used to be a former Jedi from what we just got from here, and he must have been thrown out from his master. We don't know what it is yet. We're still trying to unravel some of those details, but we got a little bit more of an idea, an insight into who Chimere is. But I do have to say, like, watching Chimere in this episode, I mean, it's very different from what we've seen before. I mean, that doesn't take away the fact that, yes, he is basically kind of like a Sith Lord. I don't know if that's officially how you can call him now, or at least at this point. But I will say that just seeing how he's very calm, like, he's a very calm antagonist right here, because we've seen in the past before where we've, had, Sith Lords or Dark Force users who are very aggressive about their dark thoughts and their sinister, feelings about things. But yeah, here it's like, okay, he's just very calm. He knows that he has Osha in his possession. He's not going to force her or do anything to her. He's not going to force upon his ideology to her. He's just simply giving her what he believes to be the truth. And so I do have to say, like, I mean, the guy who plays Chimere, I believe his name is Manny Jacinto. He did a pretty good job in this episode. Like, I mean, I have to say, I really enjoyed seeing this side of Chimere, this side of a a Sith Lord who is, like, I mean, it's still very much possible that maybe he was still trying to influence Osha to join him in some way, some form. But even then, like, I like that he wasn't really trying to force himself upon anyone on his ideology. It's just more of like a natural progression. So, but I have to say, like, watching Chimere here, like, he's really becoming this far more intriguing character. I know, like, back in the early episodes, like, I know a lot of people probably were just like, whatever, I don't really care about this character. But then it's like, okay, we have a feeling that this character might be the Sith Lord, the unknown Sith Lord that we know is going to be in this show. And now it's like, once the revelation has, been finally unraveled, we're starting to see a little bit more of this intrigue of who Chimere is. Although, again, we still have a lot of questions. We still don't know who, what his real name is, for one thing. I think that's the biggest one. What's his real name? What could be his, Sith Lord name? What happened to him? Like, we know for a fact he was thrown away. Why was he thrown away? Who was his master that basically disowned him? And what is his agenda moving forward, right? I mean, he does say that he wants to kind of have a second person, like someone with him. So which is very intriguing. I feel like I kind of heard that before, like with the sequel trilogies with like Rey and Kylo, or can we say Kylo Ren or Ben, whatever way. But that sounds like what it was right there. Like, I was like, oh, this is kind of like calling back to that a little bit with the whole dyad thing. But that was the whole dyad thing. I mean, here's like, he just wants somebody to be on his side from the looks of it. So, and it looks like he might get that because of what we saw at the end of the episode. So, with that being said, Osha, we see a lot more of Osha. It's really intriguing to see her change a little bit, because we also see a little bit of May kind of change a little bit. Lots of things happening right there. Like, both of them are really expressing their true emotions and their true thoughts about what happened to them and what they're feeling in the moment. We know that Osha apparently failed her test as a Jedi, so that's why she left. And then there's May, who's still wanting to have her vengeance against Soul, yet she's also coming out to him, which is like, I guess she's having her own therapy session. But yet also at the same time, Soul is reaching out to May to help him out, and so on and so forth. Now, again, just seeing Osha and how she's showing this curiosity about Chimera and what he wants and what his pursuit is, as well as the fact that, you know, he's a Dark Force user and trying to get some understanding as to who she is and what she is. And again, being influenced with the fact that she, you know, might actually wants to, you know, not join the dark side per se, but try to unravel a little bit more of those dark emotions that Chimera himself says that is power that typically Jedi, you know, the Jedi Order does not want any Force user to try and break apart. So, again, very interesting episode in terms of just, you know, going back to the dialogue, giving us a little bit more insight to some of the characters. We know that Osha is now starting to kind of embody a little bit of her darkness. As to how far it will go, that'll probably be what we're going to see in the next 2 episodes. We've seen Chimera kind of getting a little bit more insight into who he is, and just seeing this other side of Chimera, right? Now that we know who he is, and again, he seems to really be very intriguing character. So I will keep an eye on him for sure. Soul, like, he is literally losing it. He doesn't know how to deal with the aftermath from last week's episode, and then May, like, how is she going to be involved? Why she needs to help. So will she actually convert to actually help him out? That's going to be a big question right there. Now, in terms of the actual episode itself, yeah, it's not my favorite per se, but I will say that it is a good addition, a good aftermath to what we needed from last week's episode. Again, seeing where everyone is. I'm still reeling over the fact that we did lose Jackie and Yord, and we got to see their bodies. Like, really? But yeah, I think we are starting to really kind of get... Now, I will say for one thing, like, I mean, the dialogue still needs a little bit of work. There was definitely some clunkiness to it, and especially in the first half of the episode. It's just like some of the episode does, like, some of the dialogue seems a little bit off. Although I will say the Chimera stuff weren't too bad, but I think my biggest concern just going into the final 2 episode is the fact that we are getting into the final 2 episodes. I just feel like we have just really started. Like, we really just started to unravel kind of the juicy bits of the series, and yet we only have 2 episodes left. And this is something that I really have an issue with Star Wars series, because this ends up becoming a common problem with any sort of Star Wars series, is that, you know, we might have some really good bits going on, and yet suddenly we're already getting down to the final bits and things start to get rushed. And I hope that that's not going to be the case here. Like, if this is how the progression of the series is going to be, then hopefully it will have a satisfactory ending. Right now, the fact that we only have 2 episodes, and given what we just saw with Osha and what Soul is dealing with, and, you know, the actual, you know, Jedi Council just dealing, what was her name? Vanessa or something like that. Yeah, so I feel like there's just so much to cover, yet we have so little time to cover all the things that we have left for this series. So that's just my concern going into the last 2 series, basically, is that we only have 2 episodes left. There's a lot of questions that we still have. We still need to answer those big questions, especially if, you know, we don't even know whether or not this is a series that will continue, especially given kind of, you know, the audience reception behind it. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe that's gonna improve moving forward, but I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, I think right now my biggest concern is, will they be able to stick the landing with the last 2 episodes? And that's also considering the fact that, you know, the last few episodes have been on the shorter side as well. I think this one was like 39 minutes, including the credits. I think excluding them, it probably would have been like about 30, 32, no more. So these are really short episodes that we have where we're just not covering a whole lot. And again, like, I feel like we just started getting to some really big bits. I just wonder and hope that, you know, given these short episodes, given that we also have a very short series, that it will at least end things on a good note. So, but yeah, that's all I have to say about this episode. Again, a much more slower paced episode, but we do get a lot more information. We get to see everyone's thoughts, opinions about what happened after the massacre that happened in Kofar. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are having seen this episode. Do you think that do you think that Osha is truly going to go to the dark side and join Chimera to fulfill his passion, or fulfill his goal of having someone someone following him? Do you think that we're gonna eventually get more insight into who Chimera is? Is it gonna be Soul, or was it someone else? Will Soul be able to change May's mind and get her to finally join his side? Are we ever going to get, any details about what happened, what really happened at Brendock? Because we have a feeling it's going to happen at some point, but the question is when. What does this mean going forward now that everyone's starting to realize the whole high stakes of what's going on in the moment with this Dark Force user, and how this is going to impact everyone else, especially in terms of politics? We just briefly heard a little bit about the High Council. Let me know your thoughts below and make sure to like and subscribe.